Good night of Shabbos, Parshas Balak. So this week's Parsha is Vayar Balak ben Tzipor, Skala Sharas Yisrael La'amori. Balak ben Tzipor saw everything that Yisrael Hagetin to Amori. Amori is it's just another umazet. It's another trigger. It's another opposition that is here to bring awareness to how to, it's just in a way to trigger the light, to trigger the positivity. Everything is a trigger. And as we know that the logs in the fire is what makes up the fire, that is what triggers how the fire should show up, how the fire should burn. So too, now going in from chomer, physical, into more ruach, spirit, from that place is where you can the logs are the opposition, my gevuras, triggering the light to bring out my fullest potential. And that's really where we want to be, because just the way all my emotions and my negative feelings are also just emotions, not much was done physically, just an emotion. It's an energetic connection that's blocking me. So too, looking at the opposition as energetic and then my positive as energetic, that too should overcome that. It's here to trigger and bring out the best, the biggest possibility, the possibility of my potential, fullest potential. So last week, Veishma Kanani that passed on. And what happened is that a level of protection was removed, which means that somebody else was there doing the work for us, holding the space, and then that was removed physically. And Kanani thought that the Yidden are exposed, so he went to war, and everybody was killed. Lefi Charav. Lefi Charav means that by the sword. Which means that head on with your incoming, head on with what's holding you back. Just get to the point, of it, head on with it, by rising above it or whatever. Just first, we'll go with that. So when Balak saw that, of course, clearly the consciousness started becoming scared because of fear of cease to exist. Because once we zoom in on it, exactly where it hurts, it's not some expansion all over the place like the rays of the sun, but I'm going to the source of it. Once I zoom in, then I bring light to it, and it's not there anymore. So he panicked. Panicking looks like as change is happening, I'm tapping into again to different fears and judgments, going back to it. There's a panic because that part of the ego is about to cease to exist. So, moving on, there is Bilam had a relationship with his chamar, with his donkey, which is we have to generate flow. We have to generate energy. Now you can choose. Now you can generate it from the other side with not positive thoughts. Or we can tap into the right side and generate feed from positivity. Keep checking into the possibilities, feeling it, moving forward with it, a compliment, tzedakah, all that stuff, mindfulness, thankfulness, gratitude, a lot of gratitude. That's where it's at. Aaron HaKohen. See, that's what it was when Aaron is hoid. So when he passed away, he passed on. There was a level of Heda, sweetening it constantly sweetening it. The Varamkeit, Chassidish Varamkeit, constantly sweetening it. Once we lost that, they thought that it's over. But really it's within us. Because we have something that, as we're going to say soon, which is Bilam is pointing this out to us. Bilam is pointing this out, our possibility. He becomes the logs. And we, and like this, it triggers the fire. I'm not busying myself with what he's saying. Rather, I'm going with what the other side of the message is, what other possibilities coming out from me. So we covered this, the donkey. So you want to definitely generate from the positive, because clearly you see where the other side is. The other side is low conscience. So as Bilam is tapping in and is becoming sort of what we call a Nevuah, he was a Navi, but he had to generate from negativity. He goes all the way up to the highest level, and he's where he maxes out, and he's like, wait, these chevra are coming from a place that's so high up, from the top of the mountain. Yeah, from the big Harim, the big mountains, the giants. We are one. We are one. We are a nation that is that is alone. It's alone, constantly being triggered, constantly throughout generations and all that. That is, once again, instead of, I can go into the other side of it, stay in the blame, or get triggered into, where do I need to be when I'm in peace? Where do I need to activate to be in peace? How did the flow decide today to come down, to flow in, to veld through me? Positive flow, not positive flow. Not positive flow is a spin, and then I need to find myself in alignment where I unspin myself, and that is high conscious Eibishter coming through you. Dvaravai, a vibration, Dvaravai comes through you energetically. And if you start letting that flow, then that's what's going to be coming back constantly. Niman afar Yaakov, who can count the shtoib from Yaakov and Mispres Rov Yisrael? It's because we have Bechira and we have the koach to create. So one good deed just multiplies. It's endless. It doesn't end. You just need to tune into that. To your by tapping into your possibilities, you're tapping into your positive side, to your mitzvahs. Okay, and here we see that the Eibishter came to Bilam, and Vayasem Davar B'Fiv V'Yemashuv Shuvel Balag V'Choyse. So says Rashi, he didn't want to speak because he figured, he was embarrassed to say that he's going to have to give the brachas again. But the Eibishter said, you're going to say exactly as I tell you. So once again we see, so Rashi explains that they put in, like, he forced him to speak. So Choshech is just it's just a dummy. It's just there as a choik to get you into your higher self, to start pushing for where you need to push, to get out and just glide and be out. That's what the choshech is there for. That's what the logs are there for. So it's not there for me to harp on it, to get stuck in it. That's why they created all the psychology, so we can figure out how to permanently stay stuck in there. So there's a choshech, there's a klippa, and then they built a system that figured out how to best activate this and flow, let this klippa flow. But this week's parsha there's a name for it, I think, in Chassidus. Okay, I'm going to remember. I'm going to put it out. I got to ask as a parsha for it before I say it. I have to check it. Geula, something. Yeah, big Geula stuff over here. So this week's parsha is a massive trigger. It shows us exactly where our koyach is, and the 3 days that Bilam, I think it says 3 days, that period that he wanted to curse the Yidden, he was trying to be machavim when there is a gevuris once a day, and that time there was no gevuris. Why? The Eibishter didn't get upset, so to speak, because he triggered the Harim Gevayim. He triggered the top mountains, because he went with the logs so far and so high that the fire was burning all the way to the top. He tapped in all the Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, which is Akeda, which is Aked. It's connected all the way to the top. As Chassidus explains, Cheleg Elokam Mamal Mamish, from Atmas of this Creator himself. that's what reflects through to us. That's what we can connect to. So it's also the mimer we learned by the women's shir, which was about tzora, switching the words from tzora to ratza to tzora, which is with the Friediger Rebbe starts off the mimer by saying that Matovi Mishkan Sechel Yaakov. He's saying exactly that from what Bilam, from what he was saying, from the curses we understand the brachas. But he was forced to say the brachas. So from the brachas we know what he tried to pull at. Matovi Mishkan Sechel Yaakov, how amazing is it, our dwelling places that we have within us, so on and so forth. So to tap in, to finally get the koyach to have enough compassion, there should be hodah. Tap into the hodah from Arna Koyim within you, to be have gratitude. Trick yourself into a positive place by thanking yourself, by connecting to self. Connecting to self means just if I have a choice to be in upset or not present, I choose to let go and I choose to just be present. So we should have the koyach to do that and finally turn on and switch the vibration and the cells and the body to just vibrate positive flow. And exactly from Bilam and Balak, from all that, from all the spins that you're experiencing, which is all those forces, that should take you and raise you up into Nasher mode. Have an awesome Shabbos. And should be l'chaim.